My name is Hashim Jabar. That's H-A-S-H-I-M J-A-B-A-R. Organization is Racial Justice Now. I'm the interim director. City and state is Dayton, Ohio is where we reside. Dayton Public Schools has 14,000 students. Over 70% are black. Dayton Public Schools, unfortunately, was going to be taken over by the state due to its extended period of time low performance. However, they just achieved a D that helped them to avoid state takeover. But the public school is very much struggling. Dayton, Ohio has a big problem with charter school proliferation. There are more charter schools in Dayton, Ohio per capita than 90% of the cities across the nation. So a lot of problems and challenges at Dayton Public Schools. One challenge is that the public school system is held responsible for busing all charter school students. And they don't receive that state funding for those buses, but they are required to do so, which puts a big burden on the public school system. A lot of challenges. White teachers that do not live in the city are the majority of the population of teachers. Some of the other challenges are obviously the curriculum that is not culturally relevant, that does not associate or speak to the population that it serves. Some of the challenges is that there's a very high poverty rate, where it shows that not only is the current generation of young people being failed by the school system, but there's another generation that's already been failed, that are the parents of the current students that attend. Dayton is about 150,000 people total. Over 1/3 of the population lives below the poverty line, meaning not on, not barely above, but below. So that creates a unique amount of problems for parents and families that are struggling to survive. So it's a lot of challenges, but very strong people, very proud people, very bright people that are there. And so we steady work to push forward. Well, there's a long list of problems, but some of the solutions, one, that we promote culturally relevant curriculum, again, so that the student sees him or herself in the curriculum and therefore has a direct association. Therefore, the curriculum is relevant and speaks to that student, engages the student, and helps that student to want to attend school and want to be present in class and want to be engaged in learning. One solution is that the teachers and the people that work for the district need to live in the city. They need to be taxpayers. They need to be directly affected by the students that they teach. We need some policy changes around discipline, zero tolerance. We need some policy changes around handcuffing elementary school students. There's a lot of emotional, social, racial trauma that a lot of young parents and young students have experienced. So we've been dealing with a handcuffing situation of a 9-year-old who had a bad day. And so we have to have some significant policy changes so that students are put first. Another issue that we have is nepotism. You know, hiring friends of friends or frat brothers or fraternity brothers or sorority sisters instead of the person that's best qualified for the position. So the person that loves the child and that cares for the child may not necessarily get the job, but instead the friend of the person that is doing the hiring may get the job. So those are just a few solutions to some of the problems. Like I said, discipline is obviously some issues around policy change. Curriculum is a big issue for us there, and those are just some of the solutions. Well, I work, I pay taxes, so a portion of my taxes are taken and given to my public school. I own property, a few properties actually in the Dayton, Ohio area. So the future of my property and its well-being, its value depends upon the population that surrounds my property. So not only are we concerned about the young people, but we're concerned about the environment that the young people are going to be living in. So there's a direct correlation to education and the development of a city or the development of a neighborhood. You know, the higher education that you have, the better job or business or trade or skill that you may have and develop. And so again, there's a direct correlation to the building of a community to the public education system. Teachers live in the community, principals live in the community, young people live in the community, so our community is directly affected by the public education system. So it's a very significant role that it plays. It's the biggest employer, one of the biggest employers in the area, and it's very unionized. So there's a lot of effects that it puts on the community from the public education system.